Hello friends, a very good morning to all the students. Am I audible to all? Are you getting my voice? Okay, thank you friends for the response. So dear students, if you remember in the last session, we have completed one of the important unit of basic mechanical engineering. In the last session, we have completed the unit that is the properties of steam. Remember friends, the properties of steam is one of the important chapter considering the exam perspective. In that chapter, you need to perfectly understand the theoretical concepts as well as you need to solve the numericals. From this session, we are starting with the new unit, new chapter, that is the steam boilers. Remember friends, this is one of the interesting chapter, the practical chapter, theoretical chapter, the scoring chapter. And in order to score good marks from this chapter, you must be clear with the figures. You must draw the figure and then explain its theory, and definitely you will be getting the good marks. And this is a very important chapter when we consider the mechanical engineering. So let us start with the discussion of chapter 6, that is the steam boilers. So dear friends, these are the main contents I am going to discuss in the current session. In this session, firstly, we will be understanding some of the basic concepts of the steam boilers. Then we will be understanding the classification of the boilers. Proceeding further, we will be understanding several factors which are affecting the selection of the boiler. And finally, we will understand a comparison between the fire tube boiler and the water tube boiler. So let us start with the discussion of the steam boilers. Remember friends, a boiler is a closed vessel which is used to generate the steam from water. And the water is to be converted into the steam, therefore the heat energy needs to be provided to the water, and this heat energy is produced by the combustion of the fuel at desired pressure. So now let us understand the definition. Remember the statement, the boiler is a closed vessel which is used to generate the steam by applying the heat energy to water through the combustion of the fuel at the desired pressure. So this is a very simple definition of a steam boiler. But friends, when we consider the technical definition, now we need to understand the definition of the steam boiler according to IBR. IBR stands for the Indian Boiler Regulation. It is a government body which relates all the points, all the concepts related to the steam boilers. So the IBR people will be deciding what will be the type of the boiler, what will be the design of the boiler. For a particular design, what must be the working pressure, what steam must be generated, what are the different materials which are used for the boiler production, who can operate the boiler, when there will be the inspection of the boiler, at what time you need to provide the maintenance to the boiler, what will be the operation duration of the boiler. So all the points related to the steam boilers will be followed according to the guidelines given by the IBR. So IBR is a very important body in context of the steam boilers. So according to the IBR, it is very important to understand the definition of steam boiler. So friends, according to the Indian Boiler Regulation, that is IBR Act 2007, the boiler is defined as follows. So according to the IBR, the boiler is a closed pressure vessel in which the steam is generated with capacity exceeding 25 liters. That means the capacity of the pressure vessel must be greater than 25 liters. The gauge pressure must be greater than or equal to 1 kg per cm square. And water is to be heated at 100 degrees Celsius or above in order to produce the steam. Very important definition of the steam boiler. Another part of the definition includes the boiler includes all the mountings which are fitted to such vessels which remain wholly or partly under pressure when the steam is shut off. What do you mean by the mounting? As I am proceeding further with the discussion in this chapter, you will be getting a better understanding of the concept of the mountings. So now, considering the importance of the definition of steam boiler according to IBR, I am repeating the definition once again because it is one of the important questions can be asked in your examination. So according to the Indian Boiler Regulation, that is IBR Act 2007, the boiler is defined as follows. The boiler is a closed pressure vessel in which the steam is generated with capacity exceeding 25 liters. The gauge pressure greater than or equal to 1 kg per cm square. And the water is heated at 100 degrees Celsius or above. It includes all the mounting fitted to such vessels which remain wholly or partly under the pressure when the steam is shut off. So friends, the above definition, that is a general definition of the boiler, the simple definition of the boiler. But the technical definition of the boiler is this one, which is given according to the Indian Boiler Regulation. So whenever asked in the examination, you need to specify both the concepts. The general definition also and the definition of the boiler according to the IB. Dear students, let me ask you, are you getting the concept of the steam boiler? Are you understanding the points which I am covering? Okay, fine. Thank you for the positive response. Let us now proceed further and understand some more concepts related to the steam boilers. So the basic working principle of the boiler is very easy to understand. The working principle I have highlighted so that you can understand the concept nicely. The boiler is essentially a closed vessel inside which the water is stored. The fuel is burnt in the furnace and hot gases are produced. These hot gases, they come in contact with the water stored in the vessel. and thus the heat of the hot gases is transferred to the water. Water absorbs the heat from the hot gases. There is the increase in the temperature of the water, and the water is heated above the saturation temperature. Then we can tell that the steam is produced, and consequently by the heating of the water, the steam is produced in the boiler. So this is the basic and very fundamental working principle of the steam boiler. The steam produced in the boiler can be of the type of the low pressure, medium pressure or high pressure. If we consider the industrial context, the industrial application, the steam produced is used as the process steam in various industrial processes or driving the turbines for the production of electricity. So this is the basic understanding about the steam boilers. Now friends, let us understand some of the applications of the steam boilers. So the first application, that is operating the steam engines. The steam engines, the external combustion engines, where the combustion of the fuel takes place, the water is converted into the steam, the work is generated, the power is developed. So for the operation of the steam engines, we are using the steam boilers. Then the steam boilers are also used for operating the steam turbines, as we have already discussed in the Rankine cycle. If you remember, the steam turbine of the Rankine cycle was operated by the steam coming from the boiler, and mainly the steam was the superheated steam. The steam boilers are also used for operating the reciprocating pumps in order to transfer the fluids from one place to the another place. The steam boilers are also used for producing the hot water which is required to be supplied to a room in very cold areas. So in the low temperature conditions, in the cool environments, for heating the rooms, for supplying the hot water also, we are using the steam boilers. In the thermal power stations, this is the most important application of the steam boilers. Because friends, the thermal power stations works on the Rankine cycle. In the Rankine cycle, for operating the steam turbine, we need the steam, so that steam will be generated in the steam boilers. So steam boilers are considered as the heart of the thermal power stations. The final application of the steam boilers, that is the heat content of the steam is large, thus it is suitable for different process heating in many industries such as the sugar mills, the textile mills, the dairy industry, as well as in some of the chemical industries. So friends, these are very simple, very few applications of the steam boilers. But when we consider the practical approach, there are tremendous applications of the steam boilers. Let us proceed further with the next point, that is the classification of the steam boilers. Now friends, according to the IBR, there are tremendous classifications of the steam boilers. But I am restricting myself to the discussion of the classification which is given in your textbook. So the points which are mentioned in your textbook, that points only I will be discussing in the classification of the steam boilers. But when we consider the literature of the IBR, there is tremendous classification of the steam boilers. So let us proceed further with the classification of the steam boilers as given in your textbook. So the first classification, the important classification, that is according to the relative position of water and hot gases. What is the position of the water in the boiler and what is the position of the hot gases with respect to the water and vice versa on the basis of this parameter? The steam boilers are classified as the fire tube boiler and the water tube boiler. Friends, the name justifies the definition of the boiler. The fire tube boiler is a type of the boiler in which the fire or the hot gases will be passing through the tubes and water will be surrounding the tubes. I am repeating the statement once again. In case of the fire tube boiler, the fire or the hot gases will be passing through the tubes and water will be surrounding the tubes. But now when we consider the water tube boiler, the concept is completely opposite. In the water tube boiler, the water will be flowing through the tubes and fire or the hot gases will be surrounding the tubes. So in order to better understand both these concepts, you can see the image of the fire tube boiler and the water tube boiler. So dear friends, in the fire tube boiler, in the furnace, the hot gases will be generated. So we are seeing that the hot gases will be flowing inside the tubes. And surrounding the tubes, the blue portion which you are seeing, that is the water contents. But when we consider the water tube boiler, as you can see in the image, the fire or the hot gases is surrounding the tubes, whereas the water is flowing inside the tubes. And this is the most important classification, most important concept in case of the steam boilers. Dear students, let me ask you the question, is this concept perfectly clear in your minds? The fire tube boiler and the water tube boiler. I want the confirmations from majority of the students if you have understood, so that I can proceed further with my discussion of the classification. Okay, thank you all for sharing me your comments and giving me the positive responses. Let us proceed further with the next classification, that is according to the water circulation. How the water is circulated inside the boiler. So on the basis of that arrangements, the steam boilers are classified as the natural circulation boiler and the forced circulation boiler. In the natural circulation boiler, the water is circulated by means of the gravitational force or by means of the density differences. Naturally, the water will be circulated, so that is natural circulation boiler. And in the boiler, if we are using the feed pump or other mechanical device to circulate the water, then that is considered as the forced circulation boiler. So friends, again, if you remember the Rankine cycle, in the Rankine cycle, we have used a feed pump to supply the feed water into the boiler. So that is an example of the forced circulation boiler. In order to better understand the concepts, I am taking the references of the points which we have already understood in the previous sections of basic mechanical engineering. Let us proceed further with the next classification, that is according to the use of the boiler. So the first one, that is the stationary boiler, where once it is installed, it is never moved, and this concept is mainly used in the industries, the thermal power plants. The second classification, that is the portable boiler, which is having smaller design, can be easily moved from one place to the another place according to the application. The third one, that is the locomotive boiler. The locomotive boiler is the boiler which is used in the steam engines. The steam engines, the external combustion engines, the boiler used, that is the locomotive boiler. So with the movement, with the motion of the engine, the boiler is also move according to the engine. And the last one, that is the marine boiler. Also in some of the marine applications, we are using the boilers. The next classification, that is according to the axis of the boiler shell. What is the design concept of the boiler? What is the axis orientation of the boiler? The boilers are classified as the horizontal boiler, the inclined boiler, and the vertical boiler. But friends, now considering the mechanical design, considering the loading conditions, right now the people are not preferring the inclined boiler. Because friends, if you think technically, apply your engineering mindset, then if the boiler is inclined and the high pressurized steam is generated, then tremendous support structures needs to be provided with the boiler. And if there are chances that any one or two of the supports are broken in any case, then it can result to a very big accident. So considering that all concepts, now the people has restricted using the inclined boilers. They are only targeting the use of the horizontal boiler or the vertical boilers. The next classification of the boiler, that is according to the position of the furnace. Because friends, the furnace is very important component where the combustion of the fuel will be taking place. So according to the position of the furnace, there are two types of the boilers. They are the internally fired boiler and the externally fired boiler. In the internally fired boiler, name only justifies the description. Internally fired boiler means the furnace is placed inside the boiler. The combustion of the fuel will be taking place inside the boiler. The second type, that is the externally fired boilers, in which the furnace is outside the boiler shell. The next classification of the boiler, that is according to the number of tubes in the boiler shell. That the tubes can be either of the water tubes or the fire tubes. So on the number of tubes, the boilers are classified as the single tube boiler and the multi-tube boiler. Let me tell you friends, if we consider the industrial approach, the industrial application of the boilers, since a large quantity of the heat needs to be produced, large quantity of steam needs to be produced, therefore considering the industrial concept, they are using the multi-tube boiler. The final classification and the important classification of the steam boiler, that is according to the pressure of steam generated. So that is the low pressure boiler, in which the pressure range is 3.5 to 10 bar. Second one is the medium pressure boiler, where the pressure range is 10 to 25 bar. And third one is the high pressure boiler, where the pressure of the steam generated is greater than 25 bar. So on the basis of the type of the pressure of the steam which is generated inside the boiler, The boilers are classified as the low pressure, medium pressure and the high pressure boilers. So these are some of the basic classifications of the steam boilers. I hope you have understood all the points of the classification. Let us proceed further with the next point, that is the factors affecting the selection of boiler. So first factor that needs to be considered, that is the working pressure. What working pressure is required for a particular application? On basis of that, we are selecting the boiler. Next is the quality of the steam required. So friends, in the properties of the steam, now can you give me the answer? What do you mean by quality of steam? What do you understand by the quality of the steam? We have discussed this point already in the last unit, properties of the steam. So what do you understand by the term quality of the steam? Okay, quality of the steam that represents the type of the steam. That means wet, dry, as well as the superheated steam. So if in the application we require only the wet steam, then we will be selecting that type of the boiler which is generating the wet steam. Whereas in the application, if we require the superheated steam, then we need to select the boiler which needs to generate the superheated steam. So this is the most important factor to be considered while selecting the boilers, that is the working pressure as well as the quality of the steam required. The next factor that is to be considered is the rate of the steam generation. What is the quantity of the steam that the boiler needs to generate? Also, that parameter needs to be considered during the selection. The next is the heating surface and the floor area availability. If we consider the industrial concept according to the design, the plant layouts of the different industries, there are the different constraints in the floor area availability for the installation of the boiler. So according to the floor area availability as well as the heating surface, we need to consider this parameter while selecting the boiler for the application. The next important factor, that is the availability of the fuel and water. So remember friends, for the operation of the boilers, it is very important to have the availability of the fuel as well as the water. The water will be producing the steam and the fuel by undergoing the combustion will be generating the heat energy. So both the fuel and water must be available. Next is the boiler must be easy in repair as well as the inspection. The final parameter or the factor, that is the initial cost of the installation. Also, we need to consider the operating as well as the maintenance cost. So dear friends, these are some of the factors which are to be considered while selecting the boilers for a particular application. And friends, considering the industrial points, industrial sectors, they are selecting the boilers according to their application of the boiler. Let us proceed further and now understand the most important question of this chapter, that is the comparison between the fire tube boiler and the water tube boiler. This is the most important question which is generally asked in your GTU examination. And now you have already got the question bank of basic mechanical engineering. So you can refer in the question bank also that this comparison is asked several times. So let us understand the comparison. It is very easy to understand. The first point, that is the position of water and the hot gas, is very easy. In the fire tube boiler, the hot gases, they pass inside the tube and water is outside the tube. But when we consider the water tube boiler, the water flows inside the tube and the hot gases are outside it. The operating pressure in case of the fire tube boiler, the operating pressure is limited to 25 bar. Whereas in case of the water tube boiler, the pressure can be very much higher. It can be more than 125 bar. Next point, that is the rate of steam generation or the capacity. So in fire tube boiler, it is having the lower capacity, whereas the water tube boiler will be having the higher capacity. So in the fire tube boiler, the operating pressure is also less and capacity of the steam is also less. But contradictory, for the water tube boiler, the operating pressure is also higher and the rate of steam generation is also higher. Therefore, considering the suitability, the fire tube boiler are not suitable for the large power plants, the large thermal power plants. But the water tube boilers are perfectly suitable for the large power plants. Let us proceed further with some other points of the comparison. Chances of explosion. So fire tube boiler, since it is having the low pressure, hence the chances of explosion, the accidents are less in case of fire tube boiler. But now when we consider the water tube boiler, since it is having the high operating pressures, the chances of explosion are more in the water tube boiler. The floor space requirements, the fire tube boiler, the floor space requirements are more. It will be requiring larger area for the installation. Whereas the water tube boiler will be requiring less area for the installation. Next important point, that is the requirement of skill. The fire tube boiler, because of the low pressure conditions, low capacity of the boiler, it requires the less skill. But when we consider the water tube boiler, the requirement of skill is more and careful attention is required during the operation. Because in the water tube boiler, the operating pressure is higher, the capacity of the steam generation is also higher. Because of these high conditions, the chances of explosion, the chances of accidents are also higher. Therefore, the water tube boiler requires the more skilled operators and continuous careful attention is required. The last point, that is the scale deposition and overheating. Let me ask you one of the practical question, technical question. Dear friends, what do you understand by the scale deposition? Have you heard the term scale previously or you have read somewhere? Any student is knowing about the scale deposition? Any one of you might have heard somewhere or you might have read in some of the literature. Okay, so some students are giving me the confirmation that they are having no idea about the scale deposition. That is very good. That you are giving me the answers that you have not heard about it. That is good. So friends, the scale deposition represents the collection of the sediments which are separated from the water. Whenever the water is flowing in the pipe, in the tubes, because of this movement of the water, some sediments are collected on the surface of the tubes. So that sediments are the salt deposition or some of the composition which is removed from the water, and that all salt or the deposition is considered as the scale deposition. In our household applications, whatever pipes we are using for the water transfer, in the long run, if you open the pipes, if you see the cut section of the pipes, you will observe the scale is deposited in the inner surface of the water tubes. So scale deposition is always taking place whenever there is the movement of the water. So dear friends, now the concept is clear about the scale deposition. Now you are having the idea about the scale deposition after my discussion. Have you understood this concept of the scale deposition? Okay, fine. So when we consider the fire tube boiler, we are knowing that the water is not passing through the tubes. Water is just surrounding the tubes. Therefore, in the fire tube boiler, there is no problem of the scale deposition, and also there is less problem of the overheating conditions. But friends, contradict to this, in the water tube boiler, the scale deposition will be compulsory taking place, because in the water tube boiler, the water will be continuously flowing inside the tubes, and this movement of the water will be resulting in the scale deposition. And a small scale deposition will result into the overheating of the water, and finally in the long run it will be resulting into the bursting of the water tubes, and it will be result into a large destruction, a large explosion will be taking place. So considering the water tube boiler, maintenance of the water tubes needs to be done frequently. And for removing the scale which is collected in the water tubes, the industry people, they are using the particular chemicals, or during the maintenance period, they are cleaning the water tubes. So considering the scale deposition and overheating, water tube boiler, the small deposition of the scale will result into the overheating of the boiler, and since because of the overheating, the temperature pressure conditions will be increased significantly to a larger values, and thus it will result into the bursting of the water tubes. So friends, these are the different points of the comparison between the fire tube boiler and the water tube boiler. Let me inform you once again, this is one of the most important question which is generally asked in your examination. So friends, with this, I am concluding this session from my side. I hope you have understood the topics which are discussed in this session. Also, you have enjoyed the today's session, because the steam boilers is the practical concept, several practical points we will be understanding in this unit. Thanks for watching the current session. Have a nice day. Now, dear friends, if you are having any questions from your side, your questions are welcomed in the chat box. Any student want to ask me any question related to the topics covered in the current session, you can ask me in the chat box. No questions from any student, all the concepts are clear to all.